No matter what type of gardener you are, using a slow-release fertilizer is essential for growing the healthiest plants. Huh, Len?
That's right.
Yep.
Doesn't matter house plants, vegetable plants, perennials, shrubs, trees.
You name it.
Slow release is where it's at.
Nice and slow.
That's right. And the good news is you have things like any of the tones from Espoma, garden tone, holly tone, plant tone, all of the tones are organic, and therefore they release slow. It's not something where it's going to be really fast. Now, that's a good and a bad thing because it doesn't necessarily green up real quick. It's got to break down in the soil and the organics, and that's how they work. They have to break down in the soil, and they eventually release, and that it will help your plants. Now, I personally, in containers, like so, when I plant a mixed container or anything like that, even in some of there's a shrubbery or any of the trees, I like using a polymer-coated fertilizer. And if you're looking on YouTube, you can see I'm holding Jack's Classic Coat. That's a time-released fertilizer. And okay, so how is it time-released? I'm going to date myself. More TV. I spent a lot of time in front of the TV.
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember the commercial for the cold medicine contact?
I remember that.
Yeah. You know, it's the tiny little time capsules.
They open it up.
They pull the pill apart, and all these little pills drop out.
Yeah,
That's basically what this is like. But it's a polymer coated fertilizer that releases with heat and water over time. So it's not something that's going to be, it doesn't have to break down right away because there's different types of polymers that are coated, so it releases quicker than, say, an organic would, and it also lasts a little bit longer. Now, all of the tones from Espoma, again, slow release because they're organic, but you have to reapply them probably about every 6 weeks or so. In hanging baskets, in mixed containers, anything that is not, say, I don't know. Vegetables, I would not use it. I would only use the organic garden tone or tomato tone because, again, I think that's a better product. But it's a combination of the soil amendment with the slow-release granular fertilizer. And, again, we talked about how the organic fertilizers are a little bit slower to react, and that I want a water-soluble fertilizer, which works immediately. It's immediately accessible to your plant. So it's a combination.
Of both slow and
That's right.
fast.
Look, I got a stack here.
Okay. There you go.
Now, the only thing that's missing is the soil amendment. But again, I understand people want to be organic, but I want to be organic when it makes sense. But then if there's a better product that may be inorganic, like the polymer-coated fertilizer or the water-soluble fertilizer, because honestly, they tried a water-soluble organic fertilizer and it didn't
work.
No, it just was not effective. I want to use all three.
Right.
And depending on the plant that I'm using, for instance, like I'm going to use in my vegetable garden, I'll try to go as organic as I can. But in my flower garden, hey, I'm gonna be going. I'll be going with water soluble for sure often. But there's different fertilizers for different uses. Don't just like it used to be. Oh, I'm going to use a 10-10-10.
Yeah.
Oh, and 10-10-10. All chemical. Yeah. It's gone. It rained.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't last long. 5-10-5, 10-6-4. They used to say it. I want a 10-6-4, 50% organic.
Yeah, really.
All right. And at least that would be half organic. Right. But those days are over. The garden tones, the plant tones, all of those. Like, for instance, and I'm saying what plants. So my garden tone, obviously. Tomato tone on tomatoes. Garden tone on the rest of the garden. Flower tone on my annuals. plant tone on my perennials.
Yeah.
On my perennials. 100% organic.